All right, I want to say good evening, good afternoon to everyone joining us right here inside of the Couples Corner. This is indeed our special edition called Pillow Talk, and this is no doubt episode 17, season 4. All right, so we are going episode 17, season 4. All right, so go ahead and invite someone to come across and join us as we hold a reason this evening on another crucial topic. Yeah, marriage and provision. Yeah, marriage and provision is what we're talking about this evening. So come on inside of the corner and let us go on hold a reason as we get through this evening's program.
Into the couples corner, everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk.
Yeah, man, it is Pillow Talk. Rock and come in as we get ready to go through our program this evening.
Into the couples corner, everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk.
Yeah, it is Pillow Talk. Rock and coming at the place. Me telling us how we're going to reason this evening in a man. If you're here, go ahead and let us know that you are here. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Into the couples corner, everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk.
Rock and come in at the corner, man. Come in and let's hold a reason tonight. We're not going to be long, so we're going to get right into the program. Yeah.
the couples corner. Plug into the couples corner. Everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk. Big pillow talk, pillow talk. Big pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk. Grab your glass of little wine, red, white, rose, sparkling, to cheers with the darling. Now get a pillow, lie and pat it. Plug into the couples corner.
Good evening to you,
Couples
Samantha.
corner.
Welcome, come in. Yes. Watch
Pillow
out.
talk, big pillow talk, pillow talk, big pillow talk,
This
pillow
is
talk.
Pillow Talk with a difference, huh?
Pillow talk.
Yeah, man, this evening is Pillow Talk with a different. We're telling us that we're not going long enough, so we just rock and come in and make we just get the reason over with and done. So, for those of you who are just joining, I want to remind you that this is a Couples Corner, where God is best for you and your partner, where we are looking to build lasting and sustainable marriages through a variety of programs based on the principles outlined in the scriptures. Marriage, my friends, is the idea of God. Therefore, we refer to Him for the directives to create thriving unions. And by referring to Him, we pray and we read the Bible too. And we consult with other wise people on the subject. Our vision is to provide a safe space in which couples can thrive together physically and emotionally, to foster a community in which couples can be enriched through study, practice of the principles outlined in Scripture. And our mission is to become the leading provider of sound biblical, practical, and relatable knowledge and experiences for couples and singles alike, equipping them to create successful marriages through the willing application of the principles laid out in Scripture. Just want to establish on here that these are the principles that we believe in when it comes on to marriage. We believe that God ordained marriage to be based on marriages to be the base on which family should be developed. Marriage is a relationship between one man and one woman. Yeah. At a time in a lifetime. We believe that marriage is the union of one man and one woman in a lifelong commitment that epitomizes Christ and His church. We believe husbands and wives are created equal by God and are uniquely designed in His image to represent His values in the earth. As men lead, they lead as servants. And as women support, they support as they aim to build and to restore and to strengthen the vision in marriage. We believe that the Bible is the leading book that provides guidance to the couple, and any other book must come with the vision of the Bible. We believe in creating a successful community to practice marriage effectively. Yeah. That's what we believe. Welcome to the corner. Wagwan Tamira, good to see you inside of the corner this Sunday evening. I want to invite the people in the man, tell them so we're there, you know. Encourage me, big up yourself, and welcome to the corner. Welcome to the corner, lady Samantha. Big up on herself, and we're over here. A reason. Yeah, man, this week topic now go normal, you know. This week topic can be touchy. But here we are going to reason because that is what we promised. That's what we told the persons that we're going to look at, you know, when them come inside of the corner. So don't come all a reason. Remember, some of views, them valuable, you know. So Tamira, I want to hear from you tonight. You know, want you drop your views, your opinions, your comments. Tell me what one. Lady Samantha, tell me what you want to think when you jump in the corner. Well, this evening's topic is going to be around provision and support. Provision and support. I may have some questions that have been tossed at me that I intend to discuss this evening, but you don't know before me do that. You know, me have to drop a one tune and, you know, line up the thing, and then we get ready to go right into the conversation. Yeah, man. Go and invite out your friend, your cousin, your nephew, your sister, your brother. Let's see what I go.
All out, I never rest on things. I know you understand me. I want my
Sure. Watch one tonight, live and direct. Welcome to the corner. Welcome to the place in the Couples Corner. And make we all a reason. Good evening to your lady Andrea Honest. Welcome to the corner, man. And we'll go what a reason this evening. This week we're talking about marriage and support. Marriage and support. And feel free to engage and for dialogue with us this evening. Yeah, man. You know, so the playlist turn up. The playlist turn up.
no joking, I ain't anyway, you let me come get it. Tonight me feel like me, I go back you up and take it. Anyway, you let me come get it. Tonight me feel like me, I go back you up and take it. You ever have a girl back you up, yeah? Tonight I want.
Sure. Let's hold it right there, so I don't want to get in trouble inside of the corner tonight, so I can cool it down this evening. Welcome to the corner, everyone. We're talking this evening about marriage and support. And we're just going to make it a quick conversation, so I'm coming at the place and make we all a reason. Make sure that we can adequately look at this topic over the next few minutes, and you know we can benefit from that. All right, so what does support look like in a marriage? What does provision look like? You guys can type in the chat and let us know what is. Sure. Yeah, man, that's why I'm calm down. You know, what does support? And when you think about provision, what comes to mind? Is there any specific role or any specific individual within the marriage that immediately flags up when you hear this idea about provision? So let us know. We're looking into the chat for some of the conversations that are going to pop up. What does provision look like? Is this assigned to a specific role? Is there somebody in this marriage that is expected to provide, and if they not do it, the marriage nah work, it done, it nah go through.
Man of the head.
Yeah. You know, so them, you know, women are easy, you know, anytime we touch the provision part, we just remember say we are the head.
So no name.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, in them time it comes on to, and once money mentioned, man are the head. All right, so yeah, the husband is supposed to be the breadwinner. The marriage can.
Tommy around dead with laugh.
Man can still work, you know. Yo, watch on a man. Yo, me say, boy, man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. And most that the Bible didn't talk about. Because when it comes, you better make sure say you can provide, because there is a societal expectation that the man is the provider in the union. Rock can come in there, the father at the key. You know so why when the people do? Because God help the man them we born. Because once you're born male in the master, you have a burden to carry. You must provide. and no matter what climate or environment you find yourself in, there is an expectation for you to provide. So, yeah man, keep them coming. So nowadays women are stepping up. So we are the help. Oh, see, so why not take over the role since we are step up? All right, so you know, let me my wife had a comment that was expressed, and she wants to open with that tonight. So let's listen what they have to say.
So the question of provision came up and a lady made this response. She said, I'm glad the question was asked. There's a good step forward. I have been a working wife, followed by a few years of being a working mom. And then now I am a housewife. Initially, my husband didn't give me any money because he thought I was earning so I could handle my expenses. Then he didn't give me any money because he thought housewives have no requirements. So when I became a housewife, I realized that I didn't have any freedom to buy anything or go anywhere. Why? Because I didn't have any money on me, and I find it silly to go to my husband for money even when I needed to purchase a clip of myself, or a toy for my son, or a gift for my husband. If I ask, there are 100 questions. Why? Where? When? And loads of free advice about not wasting money. It's humiliating to tell my friends I can't go out with them because I have no money to share the expenses. It's frustrating to save a few rupees in the grocery money and a few rupees in the electricity bill and hide the money for my expense. Why? I'm reading, guys. Why the hell should I do it anyway? To buy a gift for my relatives is a nightmare. They keep giving you stuff which you can't refuse and can't give them anything back because you don't have the money. I stopped going to the parlor, going for shopping, going for functions. In short, in 2 years, I went from being hip to a home hugging hag. Now, the husband doesn't like this transformation and starts fighting and abusing that I am not taking care of myself. That day, all hell broke loose. I was like a volcano, unstoppable, spewing out fire. It was like rock bottom for our relationship. After a few months of talking and arguing and consolation and considerations, my husband and I realized our folly. Assumption was our biggest enemy. He assumed that I didn't need any money. I assumed he had a lot of money, but didn't give me because he didn't care about me. Now we share a joint account. I use the money from the account. In fact, I manage the entire finances of the family, and it's better than ever. Heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Now I am able to understand the finances and I spend prudently. In fact, I am able to save more efficiently also. Relationship is on a high. Both of us agree to talk out what we think. Long story short, talk to your wife, explain your finances to her, give her the support she needs, and allow her to spend as she wishes prudently.
Wisely. Please understand the use of the word. Prudently.
Lady P said no money, no honey.
But Lady P, sure.
What are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, tell us what are your thoughts? I'm interested to hear it tonight. It's a serious. All right, so right then we see two things happening. One, persons are expected. We operate in a culture that submit to the idea that men are expected to be the providers. All right, but when we think about providing, we normally limit provision to a few things. It's always linked to money, or it normally linked to supplying certain needs, for example. So it's always to supply with needed materials or needed items, things that we consider important. And so we normally attribute this to the responsibility of the man. But what I want to say, because a lot of times people of faith are people who embrace this view, accept the fact that you know, in a particular culture, we could see why men were allowed or men were expected to be the breadwinner. And I'll go back there. If in that particular time, women would not work, all right? So women never go out to work. Women would primarily stay home and supply the needs in the home, right? And try to build their family and support their family, right? Men were expected to be the breadwinners. They were the ones who would actually go outside and work. So the woman them naturally couldn't have no money. Naturally, they would not have anything to give in terms of the finances. What I want to say, because Tamira hit on it earlier, now that we have a changing climate, a changing dynamics where women are either earning equally, are they earning more? Should this still be the policy? Are we still expected to be the ones who stand up, supply, give that which is needed? Is there a change of the guard somewhere? Is there a call for us to again evaluate and look at how needs are supplied? You wanted to chime in?
You think you want to chime in?
No, I think you want to chime in because I see I look for me. Yeah. So yeah, let me talk to me. I said, yes, talk to me. So there was a culture that was justified.
It makes us feel good. It makes us feel good when we're sharing the weight.
When we share the weight, or when the man.
No, allow her to clarify.
Oh. Greetings to you, steady boss. Welcome in the corner with the wire what I reason. Come reason with us. We're talking about marriage and provision this evening.
What makes us feel good, Lady P? Tell him clearly, please.
Yeah, but is marriage about feeling good? I've always said that marriage is not even about happiness. Marriage is about bringing honor to God.
For me, support goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Support goes both ways. We work together as a team, and we try, in whatever area we can to make the life as balanced as it can. When the man gives us
regardless of us having our own.
When the man gives to us regardless of us having our own.
Yeah, that might be good and that might be charitable. But is that still the expectation? That's what we're trying to say. Is that still a responsibility of the men? Or is this benevolence? Is this a man who needs to, in showing his love for his wife, provides, certain support to ensure that she's okay and ensure that, she's all right? Because when
if you even look at it, even with this case with this lady who was was a working woman, working wife, working mother, then decide that, okay, I guess the decision was not even on her alone, but the decision was on both of them to say, okay, then probably the kids and whatever requirement, we don't have the family support, let me stay home, and then one person carry the weight. In that case, she's supporting him and he is supporting her. And sometimes when there is a lack of transparency, there becomes problem. And that's what she was saying, the assumption. So it's not weighing the support to say, okay, then the woman is just there being, and the man must show up with cash and whatever. But understanding that we're both giving in the relationship and we're giving up for our best. So if you meet each other where I'm giving my 100, you're giving your 100, then we won't have the issue of, who is supposed to do what, who is not doing what, because you have a mutual understanding that you're both giving of yourselves to the best.
So the men are no longer the ATM machine.
Man, nothing mean.
They're not supposed to mean, but are they the ATM machine?
But it's supposed to be something that I can give freely, you give freely, and it's like you're not watching what I'm giving or it's my main responsibility or whatever, but basically saying we're coming together. I saw Tamara put there, say she and her husband have the same account. We have always had a similar financial situation. Yeah. But then it becomes a problem if a person is in a relationship and okay then, because the woman is giving in a way that the man don't think that it is giving the provisional financially, and so he has the onus of giving. It can become controlling at some point. And so you both have to come to an understanding in a relationship, whether working wife, not working wife. By the way, the woman always at work, whether or not she go to a 9 to 5. So you have to come to a mutual understanding, have a discussion. What is unique to our family structure at the moment? What are the requirements to sustain this family structure, and then you move from there?
Absolutely. I love, well, let me just go here, and Tamara picks up nicely. Well, men are not the money machine. And that's, you see, this idea about breadwinner. I'm going to come back to it because it does tie into the responsibility of the men in a sense. But I want us to really just look at this because culturally, it would have justified the reason why men were the ones who would bear the full responsibility. I'm not talking some people everybody have unique situation. That's why we have to be careful how we try to express this and make sure say we're not trying to create a recipe that works for everybody, but we're just having an open discussion. Now, in a relationship where both persons in the marriage are actually working and serving competently, and there are needs to be addressed, I certainly believe that the men aren't the money machine, the one that you go to whenever this is to be resolved. But like you said, Daniel, it is about us mutually come together to enhance and to honor the needs of the union, to make sure that the marriage actually work and things work out how it is supposed to work out. You know what I mean? But we also know that there are situations still where a husband is well capable, he's well able. We're not advocating for husbands to neglect the role of supplying, ensuring that not just wives, but family is taken care of. We're not neglecting that role, but we're saying we have to understand that there was a cultural dynamics. I want to advocate here because a lot of times people put this, but the Bible, well, it's mean man.
It's the mean man them think that they're the money machine.
Yeah. Well, we just go on with the discussion. I'm gonna put it out there because men are not the money machine, and so culturally, we saw where there's a cultural part in it why men would have supplied this. Now we have a change in culture. Women are working, women are doing this. It doesn't even have to be 50-50. I'm just simply saying that it's now not a quote unquote the man thing, but our thing. And I believe that it has always been our thing. And that's why I'm going to look at a different definition for provision, Yeah. We're going to look a little more at provision. Let me go. Let's see. How do you explain that? Well, let me know who that question is for, Steady Boss. Let me go back and catch some of the comments on it so we can see what I'm going.
So see, Tamara says she's the one who does her own hair and she do her nails. But then even with that, Tamara, it comes to who provide the ear that you're going to put in your head. And you buy it for yourself? How it work?
Yeah. So may I try to get up on some of the comments because the chat really hot tonight. So the other day, out of the blue, he came with an envelope and said, "Here, I do something for yourself. You want to see me a look. I still have the envelope because we don't think of what to do with the money yet." All right. All right, cool.
That was a very nice gesture, Tamira.
Absolutely. So are you able, I think this question was for Tamira. Obviously, if they have a shared account, I would believe anybody can, but I think there's a level of accountability and understanding that is shared between both persons. Steady says support goes both ways, but the man should be the main breadwinner. Well, Steady, that still, I still think I'm going to give an opinion later on, the thing. But I think this idea.
If the woman is earning more,
yeah.
Then because you understand, so you have some persons in it. You have persons who will probably be in a relationship with somebody who trying to start up a business.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman might be at a more financially stable, what's wrong with my English today? Financially stable position than the man. It doesn't say that, okay, then because she's earning more and he's the man, he has to find a way to get around it. It comes to you both coming together and say, all right, we're going to work it out like this. Because we need to see the, because we're working together to see the business coming up. Because you have an understanding that this is ours. So you know, that kind of thing. So if the man is making more, of course.
Yeah, marriage is a partnership. And so
but if not, then the woman can't, it's not for the woman to say, oh, you are the man, so I can't step up.
Yeah. Lady B, I do think that kindness is wide and we should always be open to be kind in a union, both man and woman. And so everybody feel good when somebody treat them well and take very good care of them. And, you know, provide nice little tokens like Tamira mentioned earlier on. But what I'm trying to look at now is that because there's this mindset that there is women them say my money, but your money is our money. I think we have to change that mindset. And there's also this stigma that man are the main breadwinner, and sometimes the man them really can't do it, and because them can't do it, the woman will never step up and help with it either. And so I think we have to go breadwinning in this culture is slightly different. All right, the dynamics are different. Sometimes the women are more empowered, they're in a more space, as Danielle said, to earn more, they have more, and the man just can't pay everything. Him just can't maintain everything. He can't, he not know that way to really give.
But and if so, you have it different though, you have to make it.
Yeah, I said that before. I'm talking about a particular context. And that's why I'm saying I'm not making a recipe for anyone's union. I'm just trying to say we have to broaden this discussion and get beyond this idea of holding on to this cultural thing, say, yeah, it's the man is the man who is the main. And so, because a lot of women probably will never step up, or a lot of men feel out of place if the woman decides to step up. If a woman decides to be extremely kind to some men, maybe the man them get up left the relationship because they feel uncomfortable with the woman taking the lead role and supporting in a particular area. Some men will all start feel uncomfortable within the union because the woman is actually giving more than is expected. So I think what I'm trying to get at is I'm saying all relationship is unique. And when we think of marriage, we must think about it as an institution. And we must think that the institution must be funded, it must be taken care of. It is not just gifts that are given to wives we're talking about, because husbands should always look at a way how they can supply, how they can help, how they can support, how they can make their partners happy. Wives should equally do the same. But we have to go beyond that. We're talking about the maintenance of the bill. We're talking about the maintenance of the home. We're talking about helping with the children. We're talking about all the different things that comes with making a family work as an institution. And so I'm broadening the conversation to say that both man and woman have to go revisit and look at what uniquely works for us. Now, I'm glad that Tamira shares her personal opinion in terms of what works in her household. And we're not saying on here, say, one must go have giant account, but we're just simply saying that that's what works in this particular union. And everybody has to
even if there isn't, if you don't have a joint account, there needs to be some level of transparency, because if there's no transparency, you're going to have problems.
Conversation, communication, all that is important. Let me catch up a little bit. Can I think I lose some of the discussion. So let me go back and get some people and see what they were saying. They must not be mean. All right, Lady P, I agree that they must not be mean. All right. Let me look here. Encourage me, say, love that Tamira, you soon find something to do with it. Tamira is saying, housework we're always doing, it is hard. Yeah. The LP said, who said man was the money machine? Culturally, that is how, you know, it's seen. Like, there are some things where just the man for do it, and if the man don't do it, it can't be done. I think that's what I'm actually trying to say. Me love me. She said she love her husband like she love herself, and we're on the same page, which is such a game changer. Absolutely wonderful. Man and a money machine, that's a great point. It's the mean man. No mean man. So let me move on. Encourage me is saying it's because I do not own ear and nails and all those stuff that we would go, oh, blah blah. Okay, all right. and that's how it should be in a union. All right, just I try to get some of the points before I lose some very important contribution that we see I come through. Hey, steady boss, watch it, you know. Tamara, that's why it works better if the money go one place. My money cause problems. And I really agree with it, Tamara. In fact, one of the main things that leads to divorce nowadays is actually trust, and trust in the context of money. A lot of the times when people are accusing people of actually cheating, the reality is that one person feels like there's more money. So Daniel did read a very important you know testimony of a woman, if you would, and she said that her husband, the problem was he was assuming, and she was perhaps not communicating. Anytime we start to have that, what we have is conflict, and needs are not being addressed. So I really think that that's what is needed, and every union has to do this. Let me see if I can jump down in the conversation a little bit.
What was it that Tana said? It depends.
Right.
It's not clear.
A long time, no. So Calvert is saying, good evening, teachers. Me like how you teach, so me and make no reach. And Carrie said, doesn't the ability of the husband to provide for the family contribute to his feeling of masculinity? Absolutely. And Carrie, very good point. I said it earlier too, Remember that this is not only women who are struggling in this area, it's men. Some men will not marry to women who are more educated, or women who seem to have it already, because in their mind, the woman is going to leave them, or the woman is going to have no need for them and will not value them. Of course, and that's why we say we are opening the conversation. One, to make some woman know say man are no money machine, and two, to make some man know say nothing wrong with a woman taking the lead role in this particular area. What is important is that the institution is well funded, the family is okay, the needs are adequately supplied. I think that is what is absolutely important. They are jogging some points. Me say it should be what works. Situation. Exactly. So there's no one situation. Daniel and myself situation will be totally different from every other couple here. We might have some things in common, and we should never try to be dragging in what works for me into your relationship. That might cause problem in itself. But what is important, as was pointed out here earlier, is that there needs to be a level of discussion, a level of understanding. Daniel did mention having that level of transparency. That is going to be key to work in a relationship. But Daniel, I did say I want to broaden this evening's discussion of provision, because here's my question to you. And people in the chat, answer me. Women, wives in the chat, let's talk about this. If your husband was to give you $3 billion or $4 trillion, would that be enough for you in a relationship? Would that guarantee a successful marriage?
No, and that's why I said support goes both ways. We support in the relationship in different ways. So somebody might be there, the better cook will support by providing most of the meals. The one who is more nurturing will do that to the children or whatever. Support goes both ways. We're all working together in this relationship to make it work. So if on the financial space, whoever is stronger and the money come together and you make it, whatever decision you're making, whoever cover this, cover that, or we do it together. You have persons, helping in this area, that person covering in that area. You have the security, you have all that thing taken care of. Then you'll have a successful marriage. But then in areas where the support is not balanced, where things are being, you have the shortfall and that kind of thing, you're going to have problems in the union.
Absolutely. I laugh at Tamira. She said she tap work if you give $3 billion. There are many marriages, Tamira, that people have given. People have the money. Money is just not the problem. The woman them shop and them have the Louis Vuitton, what the next top brand them there. Them have the big vehicle, them can get every single thing they want. Them living at the biggest mansion. But some of these women are getting up and leaving the relationship. It was only that we see so many great celebrities. Who, them when they hear about them net worth and what their wives have access to, but still they are saying that something is lacking. You know, and this is why I'm coming down to say that provision must be seen wider than just supplying
Can I
material
make this a
things.
bit clearer? Like, I'll make this personal. Say, for instance, all right, we are in England, right? We moved to England in the pandemic. When we came here, we didn't have family, we didn't have friends, anything like that. All right? We decided that, all right, I'm trained to teach. Why not teach the kids at home? And I gave up my job, right? I gave up my job, started teaching. We have an online program that we're running, voluntary, but I give my best, every day and that kind of thing. No, if I decided that, okay, the other day I decided I'm going to go back to work and that kind of thing. When I was looking at it, if I'm supposed to go to work, he's going to work. It means that before care, after care would have to be covered. All right, because we don't have an auntie or uncle to say, okay, pick up the kids. All right, you have to think about that additional expense. You have to think about the fact that if somebody calls, who is going to be able to move to it? How are you going to get around? And so I had to make the hard decision to say, okay, then if I can't find something that's flexible online, I just have to be there. You understand? So in that case, the support is given to say, okay, I'm there nurturing, taking care of the kids, filling that gap that you and I would have to finance. You understand? So it's like saving on that cash and being there full on. So it depends on your unique responsibilities, your situation and that kind of thing.
So I think you're going up the road that I am going up. I am saying we have to broaden provision. Provision has to be beyond the acquisition of material things. That's why I asked the question earlier. If one has $3 billion or $3 trillion, will that make the market function efficiently? No. One of the things I want to establish here, we can't begin to talk about provision until we establish what are the needs in a marriage. No, every marriage is unique when it comes on to
the main thing when it comes on to marriage is security.
Every marriage is unique when it comes on to marriage. It has various needs in there. Now, the responsibility of supplying these needs is not any one unique person. It's not a husband or it's not a wife. It's a team. There are some things only the husband can do. There are some feelings only the husband can give. There are some niceness that just the wife can give. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. There are some things that are best done by wives, and there are some things that are done best by both persons. And so provision then has to be in line. Provision is a response to the unique needs and demands of a particular union. And so both persons in the union, along with the family that is built on the union, benefits from the effort of provision. So I see provision as an effort to supply the unique needs that are in that union. And sometimes it's not just material, it's a whole lot of other things that people are interested in. Let me grab some of these comments. Tamira said, yes, that was the case when I just moved here. I'm not try to call the baby name.
Sonny.
With a baby and the daycare was ridiculous. I stopped working for a year and changed. Sir Colbert, the man from the United States of Mayfield, is saying there are husbands who give a limitless credit card to their spouses and the wife feels unprovided. That's the point I'm making. Welcome here, man. Well, me need to draw one tune for this. Because I finally have one man over here to come back here. Thank you, boss. Limitless credit card. Them can go buy everything what they want, shop where they want to do, engage in whatever they want to engage. And still they feel like they're not being provided for. They don't feel as though they are protected. And so husbands must provide leadership. And that's where I'm going, because I think that a teeny weeny piece of God plan is for us men to step. You can't separate leadership from provision, right? But you also can't you cannot separate support or submission either from provision. It's going to fall into the responsibility of both persons in the union.
Those on YouTube can't see the Facebook comments. Which of these other comments?
It's
this one. He wasn't finished.
Oh, and so a good leadership. See that a good leadership is
leadership is ensuring that success is obtained and that it is done through being whatever is needed to ensure we win.
Thank you. And so I think one of the things that couples need to understand is that we have to do, because what happened with these two couples that you started with, Daniel, is that they have to do an inventory. It's almost like checking what we have and what is needed, what's outstanding. And so we are supplying that. There are some things I perhaps will do for my wife that will never be enough for another man to do for his wife in his home. So everything is also unique. So let us not ever think that simply money or, you know what I mean, just things is going to be the supplying of needs as is intended. All right, cool. Good point. Leadership and provision goes hand in hand. All right, yeah, man. So I want to know, you know what I mean, make a few more points as we go through the discussion. So back to the person who mentioned that, who asked, I think it was Carol who asked about masculinity. Now, men naturally feels a strong desire to provide for their family. Men should, real men. And so this, I believe, is wired into who we are. I think Steady Show said Steady Show is strong and the man must be the main breadwinner. I think Steady Show is a gift from the Lord. It's a desire that is instilled in us by God. That listen, man, you must take care of those that you love and those that you're taking, that you are expected to take care of. All right. Now, however, as the culture, as a culture, we have defined provision as being purely financial. While it's good to provide financially, God is calling husbands to a much higher standard. The call for a husband to provide goes far beyond financial security to his full investment and involvement. So a woman will tell you that they're not just seeking to have your money, a good woman, a good wife, but they want your involvement. They want you to get involved. They want you to participate. They also want you, they also want you in that situation to invest as well. And so let us look at some of these investment that husbands are expected to provide. And consequently, I think the women will also tell me that these are things they are going to supply as well. So first of all, a husband is expected to provide a safe and loving place for his family. Colossians chapter 3:19. Yeah, say husbands are to one, love their wives and do not be harsh with them, which means that we must create an environment that is conducive, for peacekeeping, for love, for peace, for harmony, for tranquility. That is something that needs to be done. A safe place can mean many things. We shouldn't be too critical, of course. We shouldn't be too harsh. We shouldn't be too mean. And we shouldn't be too unloving. In fact, we should be unloving. Our wives should feel cherished, valued, safe, inspired, and are able to pursue who God has called them to be. Ladies, want to talk to me now? Does that sound like something that you're also looking for from your husbands? Those of you who are not married, is that something you're also looking for? So if you notice here, you can have money, but you have no peace. You have, you are spoken to, you're embarrassed, and so you don't feel as though you're being taken care of. And so there's a call for us men in our leadership to create that safe space, that space where there can be peace, there can be love, there can be joy.
Put your wife first. She or no one should have to question her place in your life.
Absolutely. That's it. Yeah, she no one should have to question her place in your life. That's something that you need to provide to steady boss. So this morning, while I'm advocating that men are not the money machine, I'm calling upon the man to step up and look at some other areas that we may not have been paying attention to, that we need to make sure that we're paying attention to. The other thing is we need to provide a safe place to talk. Now, our wives need to know that they can talk with us about anything, everything. They need they need to know that without a question, yes, we are there to listen. All right, not just listen with our ears, but listen with our hearts, and to genuinely care about them and what's important to them. So when you look at it, that's also a need that a woman have. And so in our capacity at leadership, and that's why there are many men who think that just because them buy food, pay the bills, wife happy, a wife all right, wife is satisfied. You know what I mean? And so there's a call for us to widen the scope of what provision looks like in marriage. All right. And so one such thing is what we call a safe place to talk. Another need that must be responded to is security. I think Genesis 2:24. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife. Yeah? And they shall become one flesh, which means that them glued together. She can be assured that you are supporting, that you're standing, that you're always there. A lot of women, where's Tamira, would give up money, would give up the physical assets just to feel secure, just to feel as though they're needed, as though they belong. And so when we look at the man's leadership, it must be breadwinning alone. It has to be more comprehensive than that. It has to look at all the things that are necessary for the union to thrive, for the marriage to be happy, for the people them to feel excited, for the people to feel as though they are important. All right. So let's upgrade our thinking about provision. A husband should be a safe place, a confidant for his wife, and someone she knows will be there till death do us part. Our wife should never question, and I heard Steady Boss said it, question our commitment, our devotion, our faithfulness. Our wives will only feel the freedom and ability to be vulnerable if we, as husbands, are fully and completely committed to them in our marriage. That's a part of your responsibility in guaranteeing your spouse a safe place and guaranteeing them security, letting them know you are secure, you're all right, you're safe with me right here in this union. All right. Another one that I think is our role as husbands is definitely emotional safety. Our wife should feel emotionally safe, secure, cared for, and uplifted. Our words and actions should be gentle, soft, and encouraging as hard as it is at times. Ephesians 2:25 says, husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. And when you look at that, there's so much wrapped up in that conversation. When you look what Christ did, Christ left what I call a place of splendor and glory and come to a lowly place, knowing well that his church was not worthy, that his church was not perfect, that the people were not right, but yet he gave his life for them, even when he was being persecuted by some of them, beaten by some of them, which means that there is always a call for us to give this endless, selfless love. All right. The other one I will say is that when we look at provision, we have to include safety in intimacy. Our wife should feel completely safe in the bedroom. What the book did that mean? with the book. So you know we're looking for book, you know, because the books. Yeah, man, 21 shades. Tamira, tell me what going on with the book, you know. Tell me what go on. Our wives should feel completely safe in the bedroom. They shouldn't feel pressured for sex or anything else. Great sex comes from a husband and wife who are completely and beautifully intertwined on an emotional level. It's only when our wives feel a secure emotional connection with us that they can fully give themselves sexually. And so, if sex is difficult for reasons other than medical issues, this may be a sign of a lack of godly leadership and godly provision.
Tamira said the book I read out my deeds.
Lady Tamira, you know, we want you to do a review for the book. We want you to do a review. You know. We want you to jump for Amazon and do a review. Guys, in case you're wondering, we're talking about 21 Shades, a practical guide to growing intimacy in marriage. And that book has been authored by my wife. Yeah.
So she's been doing most of the shades already. That sounds good, man.
Hey. Hey.
And Tamira is very creative, you know, like some things I see Tamira doing, I'm like, girl, I thought I was creative. You are very creative. So I can just imagine those shades.
Guys, so those of you who actually have this book, would love for you guys to go on Amazon and share it with the people. Don't tell them what go on. You know, give them a snippet. You know, make sure. And those of you who do want the book will actually want the book here. But don't want the book here for work with it. It's the right handbook as your journey along. All right. As part of our responsibility in provision to our spouse is also care. And so my question is to the husbands now who are on here, the potential husband, how do you care for yourself? And I think Tamira alluded to this earlier. How do you care for yourselves? Husbands, at your time, you know, what the man them there? When you call me.
Alright, so yeah, it's true. Like I went and I was watching some videos from Tamir and I'm like, man, like beautiful. Beautiful. Oh boy. I did that.
Listen, it's the only book my daughter wants to read. Every day, Dad, can I read that book? It's the only book I'm fascinated about.
The image inviting.
And she's only 5. And why she love my book, so. All right. Husbands, how do you treat wife? Well, steady, sure. Come in steady. Are your time, you know? How do you treat yourself? That's a reflection for us when we think about care. If you were as selfish as you could possibly be, how much time and effort would you spend on all the things you needed? That's how much you should care for your wife more than what you would do when you're selfish to yourself, right? That's how much effort and attention and love that we will also give to and expect to receive as well. All right, so we must do it every day and not just once. We must do it every week, every day, every year, every month, every opportunity that we get for an entire life. That is what we are called upon to do when it comes down to care. Care for our spouses. Ephesians chapter 5:28. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Wow. So if I go back and piggyback on something Lady Paula said earlier, that no, this is why you can't separate my role from providing, because it comes down to love. And because I love myself, I want to do the best things for myself. And if I have that same love in my heart for my spouse, I will do the same. But what we're saying is that we have to get away from seeing the man as the money machine and seeing yourself as the person, man, who must do this, but rather seeing yourself as one who loves, and this is why you do. So I am inspired because I love my wife. I love this person in my life very much. So, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right? Very good. Pure questions. Convert. Sometimes this is an area that is dependent on how the money discussion goes. Some men are so hard pressed to provide, they end up feeling that their sole purpose is to pay the bills. And that's what I'm getting from. There are many men today, if you take away bill payment from them, they don't feel valuable in the union. And that's why a lot of people hold on to this kind of cultural view because, you know, and when a wife look at a man and say, yo, you're not doing nothing, you know what I mean? You're not doing, you're not meeting the needs. They can't understand. How can they understand when they pay all their bills, when they give you everything what you're supposed to need? And that's why the conversation around leadership and provision tonight, we're trying to broaden it to say that every spouse, every relationship has to examine the institution. Look at what is necessary for us to be happy. What is going to make Daniel and myself happy in this time is different from what is going to make you happy. Also, what made us happy in 2023 might differ in 2024. Why? Because there will be changing needs, changing demands. There are other things that may pop up that becomes a part of our responsibility or expectation. And so we should be looking to social media and other spaces for inspiration. But we need to be looking in, we need to be looking at the expectations where marriage is concerned. All right? Yeah, man. I love what I'm going. My my social media gives pretty good clues. I like Clark's, Bourbon, and travel. So I always indulge. She likes food, travel, wine, plus wine. So I give her in a yeah man, give her abundance wine, the boss. Big up yourself, friends. More wine for you later. Calvert is saying very important topic, Rev. The discussion of who do we need to be at the time is needed, and that's where that's why I want to broaden the view. That provision, we must not think money when it comes to provision, but think needs. You know, think what is outstanding, think what is necessary. Yeah, but well, if you think need, money is going to be a need in some space. So that's what I'm saying is, so we don't have to.
Can you have people we exclude that?
No, we don't have to qualify that. We don't have to qualify that because right now we have some money needed.
Everybody have money needed.
Exactly. So it don't need a qualification. It's simply to look at what is needed and respond to those needs that are actually there. All right. Me about two more to give you people. Two more. The other one is in our capacity as providers, as leaders, we must provide inspiration. Our wives have God-given talents, and we should be inspiring to them, to help them to follow, to pursue those dreams, to encourage them along the way, to support them fully and completely. No, one of the things that men love the most is when we have spouses that support our dreams and our goals. The question we need to ask ourselves is how well are we supporting their goals and their dreams, and how well are we inspiring them to do well? When I didn't have the money, I became the plumber, the mechanic, the gardener, the electrician. That sounds like it come from out of the King James, the King James Bible. The book of Calvert, chapter 2, verse 21. When I didn't have the money, I became the plumber, the mechanic, the gardener, the electrician. Responding to these needs, very important. Guys, keep the comments coming, you know. So inspiration. The other one is that, in our provision, we must consider becoming a place, and I'm playing on words, becoming a place of joy. When there's a place of joy, those of you who have gone on vacation, my wife was still away to go on a vacation, we want a vacation. But those of you who have been on vacation, have been to places where I actually love and enjoy. I always look forward to that moment when I go back. A place where you just go ease and relax. Where you need to become that place where your spouse just want to come relax, want to come enjoy the 5-star treatment. Want to come enjoy the buffet style. Want to come enjoy, glad to put up them bed, put them foot on bed, on floor against wall. Yes, that's what we need. All right. So a wife's connection with her husband is directly related to how well he's leading. Now, all of the men them who worry about women not submitting, sometimes we really have to worry about how well are we leading. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're not going to wait hard for somebody to follow you, you will stand up. You will stand up one place and expect people to follow you. What are they going to do? You're not giving an instruction. You're not leading. You're not doing anything. You're just there one place. So if you want a wife to willingly follow, you have to get moving. You have to move so them can go. While we know that some wives stubborn. If we are harsh, tyrannical, and unforgiving, then our home will lack peace and will produce bitterness. But if we envelop our home with laughter, lightheartedness, and servant leadership, then our home will be filled with joy. We want our wives to crave the time when we are both home, not be happy that one of us is gone. Husbands, we don't want the woman to rejoice every time you get up out of the house and God, thank God he's gone. Or if it's her who have to go to work, she glad to say, oh yes, thank God, we don't have to deal with it till later. Sir Calvert said it is hard to submission when the man has no mission to sub to. Absolutely. If you don't have no mission to pursue, how you want a woman to sub and to follow you. So it's really that you have to create this level of environment for me. All right, let's run right along because I want to nicely wrap up. So a husband should be a place of safety, a confidant for his wife, and someone she knows will be there till death do us part. That is what the covenant is. That's a promise we made when we decided to embrace the covenant. And it's a good time for me to talk about this book that we have here called Before You Say I Do. On one for God, so I'm going to look at how we expound on the vow, what it actually means. I asked my wife to find it for me. All right. So it's a good way for us to look at it. But I'm going to come back to it because there are a couple things I want to say from it. Now, ultimately, being a provider as a husband means many things. While this list is a great start, it's by no means exhaustive. So none of what I gave you mean that is only what you're supposed to do. This is like 21 shades. It is giving you some shades to start with so that you can figure out in your unique marriage what those needs are. Okay? I want to put here that it's very important that we understand this vow that we have made. You see, the ability to simply recite the vow does not equate to understanding the expectations. The proper discernment will enable the relevant application. Like many other concepts taught theoretically regarding marriage, one should be more concerned about living up to the vow in their union. practical demonstration is of more relevance than merely reciting the marriage vow at our wedding. It is therefore incumbent that as a couple, we pay keen attention to these vows as we seek to communicate the minimum expectations to produce a thriving marriage. A vow should not be perceived as a chore to fulfill, but as a signage that points to what makes a successful marriage, with each word bearing an important need. All right? Very important. And this book is going to explain it even more in depth and help us to understand the same vow there. So before you take the vow, before you say I do, this book is the book to outline it for you and help you. All right? So as I make my few more points and then come back to the audience, I want to say that we should strive to be servant leader in everything that we do, putting our wives' needs above our own. Our wives is more important than our career. I'm going to say this again, I'm going to say that one again, so we can't hear. I'm going to write it down. Our wives are more important than our career, our kids, ourselves, our family of origin, and anything or everything else. God said this. He caused us to put our second only to our relationship with God. All right? And so when it comes unto provision, you cannot exhaust the call to provide. All right? You cannot exhaust the amount of provision that we are expected to make. You can never outgive that. So, wives, some of you have been selling your needs short by limiting it to financial, supplies. Today we want to broaden the conversation. And I do think that the response to needs in a family, is going to be the responsibility of both. This week I have looked at it from the context of the men. Definitely next week we're going to look at it from the context of the women. We're going to look at what submission, supporting, what that actually entails, what that is all about. All right, so let's let me know what y'all think. Any questions for us? I don't know what thing go. So I did have some questions that persons asked me to respond to. I hope I addressed them. Someone question was, who should provide in the household? Is it mandatory for man to mind the woman? Well, I don't think we should look at it as minding the woman. I said to my wife, that sounds a bit selfish, like my soul thing, that's why I'm there. That's not it. I think that I love her like I love Christ. I love her like I love myself. And so my passion is to do for her just like I would do for God or to do for self. All right? So very, very, very important that we look at it. Another question that was posed at me is, when should the woman step up and support? I think we addressed that earlier. We need to look at the inventory in our marriage. Look at our marriage as an inventory. Take an inventory. Check what is needed. It's just like how them stock the inventory in a store, right? They look at what is missing, what is falling short, and they collect it together, make the order, request the supply that is needed to make sure that the store is always in need. And I think that's the same approach that one should take towards marriage. The other question was, in more traditional homes, men were the sole breadwinner, hence why they would be providing. Is that still the case since women are not working? Are not working. And Daniel spoke about that earlier, about, us complementing each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we are not subscribing to culture. We are subscribing to our unique culture. We need to create our unique culture in our marriage. What is it that is working? What is it that is outstanding? But let us take steps to make sure that the needs in our relationship are satisfied. In other words, create a culture that your children can follow. Create a culture that other persons who are looking around can actually follow. Now the question was, what should a man do who is struggling but the wife refuses to help? My brother, pray. That's already your wife. You know, that's already your wife. That's already your wife. I don't know. I would say to that wife, though, you know, you are also equally called to love your husband. And if he's really struggling, if you see your husband really struggling, finding it hard to make it, you cannot continue to claim that you love, but will not step up to support. All right, so you know, there's a call for you to look within your heart. Look if you really love this man. Look if you really want the best for this man. If you want the best for the man, you're going to step up and support. And now is always a good time to start. Two more questions that was sent. One more was, a husband is not supporting the household financially. What should the wife do? Carry him a court. That's carry him to court. Carry him for baby maintenance. No, that's not what I'm saying. I guess, you know, I can't tell you to not exercise your rights within the context of the law. And I won't tell you how, you know, when you need to do this. But I'll tell you, there are a couple of things you would probably need to do. You need to start with discussion. Some men are just simply ignorant and arrogant as well. And maybe a conversation can get them, like in the case with Daniel. He was just, the gentleman just didn't know that his wife did actually have needs. So peradventure, he doesn't know that she has needs. You know, try and have that conversation. Always resort to having that conversation. Make sure that you're on mutual grounds. You know, sometimes outline what you're trying to achieve and showing him how he can actually become a part of it. Show him the outcome. Every man wants to feel like an investor, right? So show them how them are going to benefit at the end. Sometimes it means that they will get the good even better. I don't know, but start open with that discussion. That might not work. I'm trying to find an influential person. Daniel, you can tell me what you're thinking at the end. Find an influential person, someone he looks up to, and you know, not that you're taking your business to anybody, but you're trying to get that person. It can also be anonymous. You know, you have to make him know, say you talk to whoever he looks up to. But you know, just try and get that person to partner with you, and you know, and get the message to him, because somehow it takes a longer to learn than others. Sometimes that influential person might be a mom, it might be a brethren, it might be a father, it might be a pastor. So get them on board to help you support your cause. All right. Anything else the person can do, Daniel? If the man provide financially, outside I can't go to court.
Outside,
And then they'll say outside I left him. But he married only, you can't just want to have to get up left the man. So left all those children. So we're joking, guys. But anyways, so try and talk to him. Everything starts with a conversation. Might also mean professional counseling. It might be finding somebody else who can sit down and objectively listen and help to provide perspective. Most times when people are apprehensive, in a sense, it's because they don't have the full understanding or the full information. So a third party can always help you to communicate that. But that's why before you say I do, before you say I do, these are some expectations that need to be addressed before you say I do. All right, must be clear. All right. The last question that was sent to me. Hi, Lady Sheens. Good to see you. The last question that was sent was, should a woman or man bother to marry someone who isn't working and shows no sign of progress? You know what? I'm going to let the audience answer that one. I'm not answering. Don't tell me. Let me know. should
The last part is very sticky. Working, not working is one thing, but showing no sign of progress what that mean?
Yeah, I'm not interested in work.
Yeah, that can't work.
I'm not interested to be in a position to support. So it's like you're taking up a son.
What do you guys think in the comment section?
Well, let us know, because right now me feel like such a man want to be a son rather than a husband. And in the case of a wife, that she wants to be a daughter and not a not a wife. All right, so like I said, so it's very important that we do put out there, that you can't separate leadership from provision.
See the red flag. That they come there with a split.
Yeah. Please no. What is please no?
That is the recipe for disaster. Yes.
All right, but what the person who asked those questions, well, I think she's on. I won't call out your name. I won't do that. But listen to your audience, please. Listen to your audience. Anybody else have any advice to provide to our dear sister who listens? Big,
it was kind of almost a red flag, yeah.
Big old red flag. See as the ladies look fit, the red flags. Is not making any sign of progress.
And that's one of the things I love about this book too, is that it allows you to basically, as you go through the book, as you have discussions, as you observe, it is for you to note the red flags. As you go through each section, it's practical. You go through
hold it up again. Hold it up with that page, yes, so let me say.
So you have the flag light, and you also have the no meter. And so you are able to mark and track your progress. And at the end of the day, you can decide, okay, based on how much you have on the green or the red or the amber, what you need to work on, what cannot work, and how you can go ahead, depending on the answers and stuff. So it's very important.
So it's not just a book; it's a tool that helps you to make a decision. It's not a magic one. But it provides you with some very important information and help you to assess and analyze. And you can always say, okay, no, all right, we need more. I need to wait. We need to gather more information. Or, green light, ready to go. All right, very good. Yeah, so the people them say a red flag, there's no hope in that. So if the man mean for a man, nobody marry the man and complain, say mean like a star apple. If the only thing in ready to give you in abundance are it should be a sign to you that that's something that you should walk away.
Crystal is saying don't look at the no.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, guys, bring in the feedback, your dear sister is listening,
Talk to us, Crystal.
Tell us, give us some more information.
Don't look at the no.
Yeah, don't look at what you can get now, I guess. Probably that's what she's saying, some people look at it and say, we can't live without this. I don't know if him not help me or him not.
No, but my thing is not the fact that he's not working. My thing is that he's non-progressive. Him not have the ambition.
The book is good. Also, the future, yeah, right, Crystal. Yeah, there are a lot of people who look at this and they say, we make. All right, I put it in this book. Or I think I said it in this book. I said, don't marry ambition, and don't marry a promise to change. And I'm serious about that.
No, but what Crystal is saying is that the person can change, but why should I know that this is this person's mindset and risk going in there that he might change?
No, I think she's saying that don't marry this thinking that the future is going to get brighter. That's the
Oh,
opinion.
that's what you said?
Yeah. She's following up on her previous
Oh,
comment. Right. So that's exactly what we're saying. Don't marry a promise or a hope of a change.
I hope that's what she's saying.
That's what she's saying. She did say it earlier. She says, don't look at the now. And we asked her to come follow up with the explanation, and she's now adding to it that the future might get brighter. Basically, don't look at the now, blah, blah, blah. Well, hopefully.
I hope that's what she's saying, because
Hold on.
oh, she said I got you.
Oh, she joined late.
Oh, right. Because it sounded because she never get the part where we say the non-progressive. Because people mature over time, you know, people evolve, right? Yeah. And so you have a person who might not be at a certain place, but they have a vision, and they have practical steps that can support each other to get there. That's different from a person who just don't want to do nothing.
And you know, and I want to put out there, since it's made that progress look differently for other people. I know persons who will never pursue a university degree, but they have a skill or talent, or they're passionate about, and that's what they're going to do. We must not mistake that person for being non-progressive. You know what I mean? So I'm saying progress looks differently for everyone. So I know persons who will not pursue a university degree, but they have a skill that they are passionate about, something that they're always moving towards. And so we must not think that progress is simply getting a university degree or working for corporate or doing something that is quite traditional. So even that
and that's why I made the point earlier that what if you are in a financially, you know, a more secure job, and your husband is one that is trying to build up a business or that kind of thing. So it was supported earlier.
Right. So we have to broaden, understand, a progress. I think that word "not making any progress" is a strong word. So I guess also the individual who is assessing this individual and saying that they're not making progress must really look and see this is a lazy, no good ganja head. Sorry, we're not talking bad about people who smoke ganja, by the way. I'm just saying. But you know those kind of people who their only thing is to, you know, go rub out them and mingle, and they're not trying to be progressive at all. That's probably what I'm trying to say. So we must make sure that we really examine that word progress and make sure that this person is really not progressive.
What if it's his house and he's not working?
So him having a house. As somebody dead left again. Taylor, somebody dead left again.
Probably didn't have money before and he pay it off.
And just stop work, so that's not possible. Men don't, if you were responsible in the beginning, you don't just get up and not be responsible.
Things happen. You're probably sick. You probably lose a job. But that business run down.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not
recession.
The second question, the second part of the question, that does not mean that he's not progressive. People can all fall on people can all fall on hard days. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, people, we have to understand that most times a man or a woman shows us the true color from the onset. A lot of the women who complain about their spouse now or have a problem with their spouse saw what they call red flags from the onset. They choose to ignore and proceed. They were hopeful. And that's why I said, don't marry ambition and don't marry a promise for a change. Marry a person who you can discern that this is their character. I love this about them. I love this character, and that's what I'm going to stick to. All right. So, yeah, great night discussing and talking with every person on the line. All right, guys, let us know if you have any comments, any questions, anything. To make we know how the discussions go, let us know if we had addressed the topic of marriage and provision. Is there any lingering thoughts? Anybody vexed with me? Thinks I never properly addressed the thing, or there's something that you would love for me to clarify? Please let me know. I am humble enough to go back, go check if I can't answer now, and I'll definitely get back to you and let you know where we are. In the meantime, just want to remind you that we have two wonderful books. This one written by my wife is a practical guide for growing intimacy in marriage. This is available on Amazon or through our website. All right. And people have been talking about it.
And there are two versions. There's the colored version and the black and white.
Yeah, I know we have the colored and the black and white version. The very same thing for this one. This one is one of the colored book. It's also available in hardcover. So you can choose to get the hardcover, you can choose to get color, whatever is up to your liking. We just want you to feel comfortable. This one is called Before You Say I Do. And I just want to tell you some of the things that we covered in there to help persons. We cover the concept of why people should get married. Why is this? You know, most times when people get married, sometimes it's just license to keep on sort out, especially if you come from a church community. But what about those people who are actually asking why should we actually get married? Some people are getting married because they want some financial security or whatever it is. If that is the reason, sole reason which you are going to get married, you're going to find out say you're going to have challenges later on. So this book is going to help you from the onset to look at this, right? Persons are looking out there for the right person. This book is going to help you to look at that. I don't believe there's a Mr. or Miss Right, but I believe that there's somebody who is right for you. All right. And so this is going to help you to look at what this look like. It's going to give you the ingredients of what this right person look like. People who have a good character, people who are going to help to support you as you move forward. You know, it's going to establish, you know, different things in terms of communication. It highlights a whole, it speaks about the whole need for marriage and children, you know, those discussions that people need to have. Like I said to my wife that, you know, one of the harsh reality I found when I was putting this book together was that children really change your life and change your marriage, no matter how you live nice and loving. No, children does change that, and that don't mean say you not gonna live nice and loving. Right, but you know, now it become a conversation about whether them are gonna eat with school. With school, them are go. Most of the conversation is surrounding a child, and so couples need to understand that children does affect this thing, and that's why persons shouldn't just, you know, I know persons are so excited about a starting a family and they get married this year, and in 6 months, you know, they're deciding to have children. I know it's normal. If that's what you choose, that's good. But probably it would be wise to put some plans in place and to make sure you start enjoying each other. Build a solid foundation on which you guys can communicate and talk before pursuing children. That's something for you to discuss. But you know, we're not dictating to you. We're simple putting the arguments out there for you to contemplate. Personally, maybe Daniel and myself, we got our first child how many years? Maybe 2 years into our marriage, and probably if I was living my life, I'd probably wait until after 5 years. I'm not saying that we we don't love our children and all that kind of stuff, but you know, when we basically got married, we were still studying in university, that kind of stuff. So then a child came, so we moved from university children to children. You know what I mean? And that's why I've said to people that it has been 10 years in our marriage going, and we have not actually gone on a vacation yet because we have always been just busy pursuing different things and stuff like that. So I'm saying to us that these are some things for persons to actively contemplate. It's going to talk about how to build a relationship, of course, with your in-laws. You have to build it. You know what I mean? They are going to become a useful, influential part of your community. So how do you? Some are difficult, but this gives you some of the steps that you can look at. So listen to me. Compact book, it looks at gender roles, what are roles, it, you know, and this is, you know, covered comprehensive. As you know, I love details. All right, so yeah, check this out. And if you don't know people who are engaged, people are pursuing marriage, tell them about it. You know, and this book is also important for people who are already married, because maybe there are some dots that you never crossed that you can go back now and look at how you can cross those. All right, but definitely married people, to look out, because we have another one coming called After I Say, sorry,
After You Say I Know.
After You Say I Know. That is coming out. All right, good. All right, let's see. Look like you redeem yourself.
You can come at airport, you know.
No stone. Wait. no hardcover for those wives who are a little and the touches. Yeah, let them get paperback. I'll probably get the online version. E-version, right, for you is key. All right, so, general people, it has been a great night. Thank you for coming and keeping our company. Our guest was not able to join us tonight, but we wife a laugh for one. Yeah, our guest wasn't able to join us tonight in the but nevertheless we came out and we tried to address the questions. We promised that we'll be back next week. We're bringing a very well-known, a good friend of mine next week who, this is her alley, and we're going to be talking again about a very interesting topic next week, Sunday at 4 p.m. EST. If you're in Jamaica, it's 4 p.m. If you're inside of the UK, it is going to be 9 p.m. So when we get ready to come back come January and make we all a reason next week and talk of the things them concerning marriage. So we have another interesting topic lineup, and we have a competent couple coming to address, perhaps share them stories. So I don't know, we do it already. We like, the conversation and things. All right, so we'll be back next week, same time, same place, inside at the corner. All right, so we're gonna say peace out from here. Thank you for having a wonderful conversation and for reasoning with us. Remember, this is a couple's corner, but God is best for you and your partner. All right. So someone will go have some after party. We're going to have an after party, and someone will go and pray so that the after party can become a reality. All right, whatever it is, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. And we just want to say, what good? Have a great rest of the night.
Oh, check out the channels.
Right. So yeah, we got Encourage Me in the chat.
That's a channel, the Steady Show. Greg and Cindy. Tana is also a channel. Tana Home Gardening.
And
Tamara and Zane. It's a channel very good with some nice stuff. You have Faith Connection.
Yeah.
Who else? Juba Bruce is also a channel.
All right. So check out them people that look at their content, and let's build a great community and a wonderful ecosystem. Bless up Steady Show. Thank you again for the strength. Man, look here, me have to check if you have my brother. I go ask my daddy if me have one big brother. God bless you. Shout out your wife and take care. Guys, blessing. Thank you very much, Tamira, for the reason. For all of the people that were reason with me. Thank you so much, and make the show easy and make talking easy. Bless up on yourself and take care. See you next week. Same place and same time. All right. Take care.
According to experts, the most common reasons why couples lose their passion for each other and stop being sexually intimate is a pursuit distance pattern that develops over time. Let's build back the passion in unions with 21 Shades, a practical guide to growing intimacy in marriage, written by Daniel Brown Robertson. Let your expressions of love be a synonym of intimacy and not an antonym. Get your copy today on Amazon.com or call 07412 701010.
You're single until you're married. You live with your boyfriend, y'all have kids, still single. You call his mom, super single. You have joint account and he has stuff in your name, stupid and single. Don't be foolish and stop calling a man hubby who hasn't made you his wife. Stop lying to yourself and accept the fact that your bond with him is not as deep as you thought it was because he won't marry you. Stop lying to yourself saying you don't want to get married and it's just a piece of paper, but yet and still you live with a man popping out kids pretending to be a wife. Make it make sense. Just say that you've accepted your role as a placeholder, better known as a long-term girlfriend. You have the potential to be a wife, just not his wife. He's going to string you along because you're convenient, but he won't ever commit to you because you're really not what he wants. Don't underestimate men. Men are very smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. That's why you're a long-term girlfriend. Be careful and don't be too comfortable, because he'll leave you one day and marry a woman that he met for 6 months because she has standards, because she made him man up, because that's who he really wants. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely.
I begin to